What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Fire Force Season 3, Episode 25, full season and full series. So in this episode, everyone is like, seeing the new world, like getting acclimated. Some of them, their wounds, that they suffered before, the Great Cataclysm destroyed them all, are active. Like, some, whereas they got their head cut in half, their throat was sliced, Obi's throat was sliced, so that's an example. So it's like they have like tape his neck, and you have, obviously, like it's kind of funny how so like there's one Fire Force member who like comes across the white clad chick who cut half his head off, and like he's like, well, let's not worry about the small stuff. Like once his head's put back on, like they start dating randomly. I was like, what the frick? Like I was just laughing, and so yeah, so then and you have so everyone's like getting used. So Shinra creates death, like death from basically it's the Soul Eater world's right. Where is Soul Eater world? So death appears and takes all like the fire abilities from everyone, and so he disappear. Death disappears. So he's gonna form something basically the school from Soul Eater, and then yeah, so and then yeah, so Iris comes back. She's resurrected. Um, and then Inca comes back. Basically, amongst the pillars that were absorbed by Hamia, they all like the other three, like they just let themselves die, or like other two or three, whatever. And then so you have so everyone's trying to get used to a new world, and dude, it's how Juggernaut like his arm was falling off, and he like tries to put it back on. So like it is so funny, and so you see everything is going on like in the news. So you have so Inca's a witch. Basically, she's the first witch in the Soul Eater universe. And you have, the world, I think, World Heroes Force, the group that, basically Shinra helps lead, along with basically everyone from, like, everyone who's part of the Fire Force, like, who still wants to fight, they form the World Heroes Force. So, they're fighting monsters, protecting people. And so the world is like, it's a world of death, so it's like death is not as big of a concern. So like it allows people to not have despair. So Hamia, so Charon is like resurrected, and Shinra like gets Charon to basically convince Hamia to like accept the world. And when they see you know Hamia, they're both like Charon and Shinra both like dang she's adorable. Like it's so funny. Like their reaction, like it's actually pretty funny. So then yeah, so Shinra's reunited with Iris, and you have Incas trying to and like Fortless Shinra. And it's funny you have Shinra like Shinra's with Shoro like because I was like, wait, you got two girlfriends or something? So you're like, no, 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 no. He's like, no, I only care about Iris. Like that bit is so funny. So you have a time jump. That's and you have they show everything with the World Heroes Force. So Inca wants to have Shinra's child. Like she wants to get pregnant with Shinra's child. Now, why? we don't like. I mean, honestly, like so, and she tells him to get a lift to help him with that. And so it is funny. So Arthur, like he's hanging around with the Excalibur, so he's finally able to get back to Earth. So Excalibur, the like that, weapon from Soul Eater. Yes, that is Arthur's like partner in this time period. So you then have you know, everyone doing stuff. Then you have another time jump, like where Shinra's like in his 40s, his kid or kids about to join the World Heroes Force. And you see someone that looks like someone with blonde hair and someone with pink hair. So uh, there's debates about this, like about who he had kids with, because like the blonder one looks like Arthur. So some people theories that he had a kid with Iris and a kid with Inca, with the blonde one being Iris's kid and the pink hair one being Inca's kid. Now with Inca, there's possibility that it was through artificial insemination instead of like Shinra having sex with Inca. Like Iris, like if you had, I guarantee it's through they got it on. Like so like so it is kind of like it's a very lighthearted ending. Like but I mean, but Soul Eater is very lighthearted. It's very cartoonish. Like it's very slapstick in like how it does things. And so then you see like you like you see some of the characters from Soul Eater like younger, like before like the series start that that series starts. And you see Maka, like her parents reading her the story of Fire Force, or at least from their perspective how it like because you know. But yeah, I thought this was a a good episode, good finale, good way in the series, tie it into Soul Eater, which hopefully gets a remake. So the overall season's been great. There were concerns, due to like people are concerned about what all stuff's gonna get cut out. Is it gonna like, have some issues that some other series have had, like Promised Neverland, One Punch Man, stuff like that. And then yeah, as far as the full series is awesome. Like comparing, let's say Fire Force and Soul Eater, like the first Soul Eater anime, well, currently the only one. Fire Force is better. Like Fire Force, I would say is like a 9 out of 10. Soul Eater is like an 8 out of 10. Now, when if a remake does get made, it'll be interesting to compare the remake of Soul Eater to Fire Force. That will be interesting. But yeah, I thought it's a really good show. The music, the animation, all the various ways fire is used for superpowers, it's freaking awesome. So yeah, it's a really good show. Hopefully, we get a Soul Eater remake. No, Hunting Party, season 2, episode 8. So in this episode, the team hunts the killer um, like named Elliot Carr. Basically, he's a shoemaker and he was a killer. Basically, he would basically he was how like in the pit. What would happen to him is like it was like some mental torture. Like he would be due to all the torture he put his victims through before killing them. So the pit's idea was to like wake him up every day, take him to looks like to be executed, but then not do it. Basically, it was like a mental torture thing, like to where like he would be in a constant state of fear that each day could be his last, and like yeah. So outside the the outside now he's out. He like makes leather goods from elephant, black rhino, so some poaching stuff, and from human skin. And then Now apparently he was like he apprenticed under his uncle, and Elliot killed his uncle. And so yeah, so basically Elliot, I guess, when he grew up, he started desiring control and like took it way too far, obviously. And so yeah, and then yeah, dude, it's insane. Like the guy like was making shoes out of like leather stuff out of human. That is disgusting. And yeah, so and then so also the team's able to capture Carr, and basically and Carr had used I guess stolen amulets or something in order to get victims, and so they were able to try that to find them. Then eventually they were able to capture him. Now you have Lazarus is trying to get close to get close to to Shane, and then um like so basically then you know so like in Shane's if he's trying to I guess figure out some stuff with Lazarus because well I mean look, his mother's a serial killer, so he's got to deal with that, and she like had graduated. Why you let a serial killer into the military, I don't know, especially one that was caught. Like that just sounds like a bad idea. I mean, unless it's like a Suicide Squad like thing, like there's nothing. I don't see where even any sort of tactical sense what took place there. And Shane's concerned because he believes his mother could have some motives for basically that his mother. Well, look, she's a serial killer. Of course, she's evil. I mean, and basically she baked lasagna for dinner for them to have. Now, I would be hesitant about eating something made by a serial killer because you don't know what's in it. And there's some questions about who Shane's father is. Because that's what I was like, that's why I want to know. Who's his father? Like, that is just a question. Like, is it Dr. Dulles? And like, but it's possible Shane's like falling under Lazarus like control a little bit. Yeah. And then, seems like Lazarus is getting more involved, trying to do some stuff with the other killers. So a big conflict looks like is coming between, Bex and Hassani versus Lazarus, and Shane's gonna have to choose a side. Hopefully he chooses Bex and Hassani, which I think he will, if said conflict happens. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episodes 1 through 3. So in these episodes, Daredevil's kind of leaning like a resistance against Wilson Fisk. So Daredevil infiltrates the Northern Star, some cargo ship holding military-grade weapons. You know, basically through Fisk's Red Hook Freeport in New York. Now the captain and first mate try to sink the ship in order to prevent, the port from being accessed. And then and so a CIA operative named Mr. Charles, helps Fisk's anti-vigilante task force by making sure that the New York state leadership doesn't interfere with the anti-vigilante trials. And so Fisk and Vanessa agree make basically agree with the work with Charles for some more shipments. And so, Karen Page meets with BB Urich, who's secretly spraying propaganda. So, BB Urich is like Karen Page's inside woman, inside Fisk is like administration. Why Fisk trusts her, I don't know. Considering Phil Urich, I mean, I feel like that's just a dumb move by Fisk, who I'm pretty sure is not retarded. Okay, well this is Disney, so Disney may have turned Fisk into a retard. Anyway, so now Yurik is trying to gain intel on Fisk to like leak to people, and and basically she's like friends with Daniel Blake, who's basically is like deputy mayor communications for Fisk, basically like a a fanboy for him. So you know Daredevil's trying to find the the Northern Star crew with help from from Cherry, and you have Heather Glenn, Murdoch's ex, the therapist. Basically, she's having some PTSD from when she was captured by Muse, and she falsifies Swordsman's evaluation, like mental evaluation. Like she falsifies it. I guess she was doing like a psychological evaluation of him, like Jack Duquesne, aka Swordsman. Yeah. So then, dude, that is like there's some dumb stuff with that. Like so, now Swordsman's eventually a vigilante. Now, okay, in the comics, Swordsman. Now, I think in the MCU he was in Hawkeye. I didn't watch Hawkeye at the time recording this. I haven't watched it. Now, Swordsman was a villain, but then he became a hero later. So yeah, basically, and in the comics, of course, he's Hawkeye's mentor. Now, I don't know how I didn't see Hawkeye, so I don't know how much that show gets into like if that how much that gets into like that whole dynamic. Anyway, so AVTF attacked Cherry and Murdoch. So Cherry's a heart attack and he's hospitalized. So Murdoch is so Daredevil's unmasked by the AVTF, but those officers are killed. Who see him without his mask? They're killed by Bullseye. And it's nice that they actually call him Bullseye. So and yeah, so and then you know, so obviously Daredevil and Karen they're hanging out at Josie's bar, and so Kingpin doesn't want the only reason he hasn't revealed Daredevil's secret identity as Matt Murdock to the public is because the people like Matt Murdock. They may not like Daredevil, but they like Matt Murdock. So if Daredevil's identity was publicly revealed, it would make his anti-vigilante activities more difficult in his eyes. So he decides to portray it as you know, basically Matt was abducted by vigilantes. And so basically like that's how Kingpin decides to portray it. And so now Angela Del Toro, whose Uncle Hector Iowa was killed, and and her aunt Soledad Iowa, they see a bodega robbery that goes wrong, and so and then AVTF officers see they go after the robber and then a bodega owner who pulled a gun out. Which that like would so that she tries to intervene, but she's arrested along with the bodega owner, basically allegedly saying you're doing vigilante justice. Okay, so the bodega owner. So now here's my question about that. So now, like, my question is, okay, with the bodega owner, like, oh, there's a lot of problems with this. So, and then yeah, so and uh, and so now the bodega owner pulled a gun on those who were robbing him. Now they were robbing him, so I mean it's a completely different thing than like let's say they were just I mean like they were robbing him. So like basically, and then so yeah, and so they're arrested. So I guess it's supposed to lead potentially to Angela becoming the next White Tiger. Now, so Angela visits Kirsten McDuffie, who's a she's a she was Matt Murdock's law partner, and obviously she's basically running things on her own. Now Angela gets Hector's amulet of power, so that's so now one of these theaters is BB's smear online smear campaign against Fisk. Basically, I don't know, it was like AI or something, but doing a bunch of footage to make him look evil. I mean, look, all the stuff that Keep has done in the past, I'm like, why would someone vote for him? No, but there's something about apparently crime is down, like stuff like that, and you have yeah, and basically Kirsten's being warned to not really defend Swordsman because she is Swordsman's lawyer, and so now Daniel Blake was warned by Kingpin of letting leaks happen, and Blake suspects BB and tells her don't do it to not get involved, to not like leak anything for both of their sakes. Now the AVTF attacks Josie's bar. Karen takes one of the officers hostage. Daredevil beats up the rest. Now the hostage's name is Alan Saunders. Now Saunders claims that he wants to help Daredevil and Karen, and he gives them a security card for Red Hook. And Karen leaks info about Red Hook being a free port for Marge McCaffrey, the governor of New York. Now McCaffrey warns Kingpin that she has the power to revoke free port access, and is considering doing it due to what happened with the Northern Star. Now Kirsten who is representing to Swordsman, she's blindfolded when taken to I guess his cell at Red Hook. Now she hasn't really had a lot of time to prepare for her defense when she tries to make that argument to the judges. Now she argues that Kingpin has no evidence of Duquesne being swordsman. Now the judges who are there, due to the Safer Streets initiative, allegedly they can't say anything. They can't really do anything. They can't really go by the evidence. So Swordsman's found guilty, and Daredevil visits McDuffie in order to learn about her trip to Red Hook, and using the sounds that she described when she was walking through there, she's had to find his way inside. So Daredevil's able to free all the prisoners there, and he and Swordsman fight off the AVTF. Angela goes there, saves her aunt, and helps Karen steal a transport vehicle. Now Swordsman drives Angela and all the prisoners to safety, and Daredevil and Karen escape on their own. Now, gets the AVTF to blow up the Northern Star while some salvagers are on it. So yeah, things definitely escalated. So this is obviously you know leading to like this is basically probably leading to like a Marvel Knights like story. Like this is basically what it is, where it's defend. Well, it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be Defenders or um, you know, like Defenders or Marvel Knights, one or two. Because obviously you have Jessica Jones has been confirmed to be in this season, and there have been possible rumors of Luke Cage and maybe Iron Fist being in it. Now I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Misty Knight or Colleen Wing being in this. I haven't heard anything about that. But if Iron Fist is in this, Colleen Wing's probably going to be in this. Odds are, and maybe Misty Knight as well. So yeah, who knows? Like basically, we'll see what happens. Um, because some of them will probably get drawn to the vigilante thing. Well, I don't know about maybe who knows about Iron Fist because basically in the Iron Fist, Danny Rand was going across the world dealing with some stuff. Uh, yeah, I yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's what I say: the acting in this show is still pretty good, still decent, especially from Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio. But the writing's so freaking retarded. Like they make Kingpin look like a freaking idiot. So, like, dude, that Daniel Blake guy should be freaking dead already. Like Kingpin generally, like in the Netflix show, Kingpin would very freaking kill that guy. He may have given him 1 second chance. Not, I don't think he would have given him a third. He would have already had killed. And thing is, Kingpin with all the stuff that's happened, how has he become mayor? Like, what all has to happen? Like, really, the only thing way he could become like he would really have to stop like a Avengers level threat. With all the stuff he did in the Netflix show, basically he would have to have like stopped an Avengers level threat to have like get some of the political clout to become mayor. Like really, what had he done? Like people like I mean, like really were some people that stupid to vote him mayor? I mean, it's not even like stuff was alleged. Everything was freaking proven. I mean, Foggy Nelson's death, did that not throw anyone? Which, killing Foggy was such a dumb decision. If they were going to kill off one of the main three, it should have been Karen. Because in the comics, Karen Page does get killed. And she's still dead in the comics. Like, she is one of the dead characters who has not been brought back, to my knowledge. I don't think she's been brought back. Foggy, I think, his death has been faked a few times. And I think his death in this show is faked. Like they're going to bring Foggy back. Like I would argue that you need Foggy more than you need Karen, because with a love interest for Matt Murdock. You also have Elektra, who I'm pretty sure will be brought back at some point, whether this season or season three. Why there's a season three, I don't know. Like, what the heck? I mean, I'm pretty sure the ratings of this show were terrible. But yeah, so I didn't like these episodes. I'll watch the next one. Classroom to Elite, season 4, episodes 1 through 4. So in these episodes, the first 4 episodes were released all at once. So year 2 has started. So basically this adapts the second light novel series. You know, basically you have a light novel series for each year. You have year 1, year 2, year 3. Year 1 was covered in the first 3 seasons. Year 2 is starting to cover now. So I and the Koji is trying to find which student is from the White Room, and it's one of the first years. So yeah. Now for the first big test, basically each second year has to get paired with the first year, and basically there's like a group test, whatever. Their grades affect the other, and basically if they don't find it by deadline, they get like some penalty in their points. So they gotta be careful because if they get too low of a grade, they'll get expelled. And Koji doesn't want to get paired with the White Room student because he believes that student would just intentionally fail to get him expelled. So Horitika has cut her hair as a way to show some resolve or something. Basically, it's basically copying Sakura from Naruto when Sakura cut her hair, which granted about every female character who cuts her hair is like a sign of resolve. It all copies Sakura. Like there may have been other characters that did before Sakura, but Sakura's the one who really popularized that in Naruto. And so, and now, so Horitaka, eyeing the Koji and Pseudo, trying basically they're heavily involved like negotiations with trying to get some of the first classes, like first years, in order to pair. Because you have some who have like, because everyone's like academic ability is shown. Aina Koji's list is a C, even though apparently he would get perfect scores and everything if he wanted to, because he never wanted to stand out. But it seems like he's not going to hold back anymore. Now you have so you have Hosen, who's kind of like leading one of the first year classes, and he's like being like he's trying to get points out of people. And so you have this one guy who approached Kushida, who know, like apparently went to middle school, whatever, with her, and possibly knows about Kushida's past. So leave some questions as to why he's willing to be paired with Kushida. Now I do know some spoilers, so I'm not going to get into that. And so you have Hosen's kind of like Ryuen, so it's interesting. Their interaction was cool. And so you have I mean, Koji's concerned where Nanase, was like basically kind of like second command to Hosen, where she was the White Room student, but he concludes neither her nor Hosen are. Then I have another character named Amisawa who basically really likes strong men and also likes men who can cook. So Aya Koji has to cook her meal in order for her to be willing to be paired with Sudo. Now he does, and she agrees to work with Sudo. And so now it's kind of funny. One thing is kind of funny. So yeah, so if you recall, Aya Koji started dating Hey, uh you know Karuzawa, and then you know basically you know and so when Omisawa like comes back to Garrett Clip, Kay is very jealous of Ayakoji having a girl in there. Ayakoji now he probably knows what she's thinking because how smart he is, but doesn't he doesn't care because he didn't have any uh intentions with Omizawa. So and then so it is interesting how this is going. So then basically everyone's trying to figure out who's gonna get Paris. So Ayako so Hosen tries to like manipulate things basically to reveal that someone put a bounty on Ayana Koji to get him expelled. And that's what Hosen was trying to do. And so he tries to do things to where Ayana Koji would make it look like Ayana Koji stabbed him with a knife that Ayana Koji bought to cook food for Omizawa, but Ayana Koji lets himself get stabbed in the hand by it. So it would be like Hosen basically sets up Hosen. He's like, Ayana Koji's like, hey, I'll let this slide for one. You perform an equal, like a alliance of equal trust with my class, and you partner with me for the test. And Hosen, I guess, gets kind of excited about having an adversary in Ayana Koji, and he agrees to deal. So yeah, so things are definitely going to be interesting. So yeah, I thought these were good good episodes. Interesting, like who the new like who the White Room student is, and Ayakoji at least told like the principal or the guy from the White Room that he doesn't know who it is. Now he says he doesn't know who it is. You know, obviously you can never fully tell what Ayakoji's motives, like what he knows and doesn't know. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I thought these were good episodes. Looking forward to the next one. Dorohedoro season 2 episodes 1 through 3. So yeah, it's been a while since season 1 aired. Now I binge watched season 1 recently before watching these episodes season 2, and it seems like they're being released weekly. You know, I don't know if Netflix is doing weekly as well. I think they are. And like so, Netflix. So you want to do anime weekly, but not let's say live action One Piece? You know, freaking Netflix retards. Weekly is objectively better. So anyway, so you have Risu's still trying to figure out who killed him. You have Kaimon still trying to get his memories, and like he's seen a lot of memories, potentially about like how he was a sorcerer or whatever, and that's why I guess he was in the Cross Eyes. And you have Risu's trying to find the Cross Eyes leader. And you have Nikaido trying to avoid coming across N and falling back under the contract where. And so it's interesting. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, and then yeah, so you have Kaimon still getting some flashbacks. So it's funny you have your Choza's disguised as Nikaido in order to get close to N. It's kind of funny. And so yeah, and so you see like basically everyone going around like obviously the guys at the hospital like or the clinic where doing their stuff. with the doctor finding his wife. So yeah, so they've been good episodes. Like it's definitely insane. Like what's going, it definitely brings back the insanity from the first season. So yeah. So also we got for who did the who killed him, who killed Risu. We'll figure that out. Like yeah. So yeah, it's definitely weird. Um. So yeah, we'll see. Like there's so much stuff going on because possibly Paimon has Aikawa's memories, and yeah, and at least the question. Okay, who is Paimon? Like there's a lot of stuff, you know, with Risu and Aikawa, Paimon. Like things are getting crazy. But yeah, so I thought these were good episodes. Looking forward to the next one. Snowball Earth episode 1. So in this episode, so this is a new show that started. So basically you have the main character Tetsuo Yabusame who like pilots an AI powered mech called Yukio. Yukio kind of acts as a friend for Tetsuo during the whole big battle, all these battles against all these kaiju. So yeah. So he basically over time, Tetsuo has to fight all these kaiju. He's like a champion for humanity. In the final battle, you know, Yukio's destroying a battle against 20,000 kaiju, and Yukio saves Tetsuo, who is in an escape pod. Then you have so Tetsuo, gets to Earth. He was like in like a some cold sleep. Then he gets back there, sees that it's basically it's a frozen wasteland. Humanity's like basically there's not really anyone to be found. So it's like yeah. So basically it's like kind of like how like yeah. So and then like so it's kind of like one of the things where it's like okay you have your mechs to like basically it's like I guess if a mecha anime you just first episode is just a recap special. It's like yeah here's the hero who did all that, and then we're gonna then like yeah next is yeah we're now the show's just gonna be the aftermath of it. So it's an interesting way to do it, and it gives you everything you need to know. I would say about um the backstory. Like it gives you everything, so it doesn't like hide anything, make it confusing. No, it explains everything you need to know to understand this show, which is good. You don't want to be like, what the frick? Now it's like a thing where things were gradually revealed over time, kind of like Free Reign has frequent flashbacks to Free Reigns journey with him or the hero. That'd be another interesting way. That's another way, I guess, something like that's done, where the main story is like an aftermath. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting thing. So So yeah, I was like, yeah, your mecha adventure's done. Yeah, your Earth's frozen. So yeah, yeah, I thought it was interesting. Um, yeah, it's an interesting episode. Like I'm intrigued by what's going on. I'm interested to see how things go. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. The Super Mario Galaxy movie. So, this movie, sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie, which that movie, in my opinion, was the greatest video game movie ever made, at least amongst the ones I've seen. So in this one, so Princess Rosalina is raises these star-like species called lumas, basically like you know gives tells them bedtime stories based off the life of Peach, with I guess the story of the Mario movie being like their favorite one. So they all live at the Comet Observatory. Now Bowser Jr. pilots a giant robot to abduct Rosalina, and Rosalina is captured when she tries to protect the Lumas. Then one of the Lumas gets captured trying to protect Rosalina. So now one and so Bowser Jr.'s now next plan is to free his father Bowser, who's still like in mini form, trapped imprisoned in Peach's castle. So and one of the Lumas like escape, like the Lumas who was captured like escapes, and Rosalie is captured trying to help that one escape. Basically, Rosalie like uses her powers to free herself from the Loomis. Then they're in a fight. The Loomis is able to escape, and she's captured again. And so in the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario, Luigi, they're asked to help inspect like a issue with the pipe in Tostarena. Basically, it's like a desert area. So at the end, inside the pipe, they see something in there that they're scared of, and then it comes across and to really be Yoshi. So that's where they meet. Now, of course, what the Yoshi says is Yoshi, so that's why they call him Yoshi. So the three of them they attend Peach's birthday party. Now it's not her actual birthday, but it's just the anniversary of whenever she appeared in the Mushroom Kingdom. Whether or not it's actually her birthday, she doesn't know. No one knows. It's not really revealed. Not matter. It's basically like just the anniversary of the day that she came to the Mushroom Kingdom. And so Mario gives her a new parasol. Now he was concerned, when he has the the gift box, that you know basically he says he's worried if Peach will like him. Luigi's like asks Mario if he has feelings for Peach. Mario is not willing to admit that, but it's very obvious he does, which of course anyone who's played a Mario game knows that's the case. And it's funny you have before when Mario Luigi first with Yoshi to try to ask Yoshi how the heck he got there. So you see Yoshi in his little language talking about his backstory. He ended up like hatching from an egg and through some pipe. I guess ended up in the you know our world, whatever. At least it's Mario Luigi's world basically. And you see it's funny. You see in the background. You see Donkey Kong doing stuff, kind of like like I guess like the Donkey Kong games. So you see like you see a bunch of random stuff. And Mario Luigi, they don't understand what he's saying. They're like, well, I guess we won't know what happened to him. And so that little cameo from Donkey Kong is the only time he appears. So Donkey Kong's not a major character in this movie. Now they're in like this meteor shower or whatever. The Luma who escaped Bowser Jr. crash lands in the Mushroom Kingdom and asks for Peach's help in saving Rosalina. Now some of the Toads are like, no, we can't have Peach leave us undefended. So Peach and Toad leave, and Peach leaves a note saying that she entrusts the Mushroom Kingdom to Mario while she's gone. So, Mario and Luigi try to, they basically, them and Yoshi go around different places, help the Toads out. And you see, it's like a montage. It's like kind of like they portray like a map, like the map in the Mario games with different stages. So it's kind of, they put like a lot more like video game like influence into this movie compared to the first one. Like regards to like, and it's funny even times they even show visuals based off of like the games. So and then now, so Peach and Toad go to the Getaway Galaxy, and so yeah, so And then so they go to the Getaway Galaxy, and then but it's they're so Toad's bag is stolen by the monkey Ukiki, and who basically Peach and Toad chase Ukiki, and they end up in a casino owned by Wart. So Peach and Toad defeat Wart's henchmen and interrogate Wart, who reveals that Rosalina is captured by Bowser Jr. Now, while this is going on, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, basically they're called to help Bowser Jr. Basically, Bowser Jr. shows him a painting of himself with Peach that he wants to show Peach. Luigi, I guess, who had been kind of like befriending Bowser, even I guess Bowser would join like Luigi's book club, whatever. So basically, Mario, like Luigi says the painting dies, Mario says it's trash. More Price says it probably just to piss off Bowser. So Bowser is like definitely he's like trying to say he's changed. He's like, yeah, free me, turn me back to side. Mario's like, no, we're not doing that. Luigi's like, what? Maybe he's changed. Maybe he's like, Mario's like, no. So Bowser Jr. Attacks, Mushroom Kingdom, attacks, Peach's castle. So Mario, Luigi, Yoshi try to fight Bowser Jr. and the Bowser Jr.'s like ship like lifts like what like the castle. So now the Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi they evacuate the castle to get all the toads out. So when so the castle's caught in the tractor beam, and the tractor beam base after explosion, when the tractor beam like goes away, the castle falls into the Honey Hive galaxy, and Bowser had in with them. So basically, Bowser basically taunts Mario, gets him to step on, so it basically causes the mini mushroom to go like that status effect to go away, so Bowser's turned back to original size. But he promises to help Mario. So they're captured, taken to the castle for the Queen Bee, and Bowser offers to serve the jail sentence for damaging, I guess, the flowers, or whatever, in exchange for Mario, Luigi, Yoshi to be able to be taken to the Getaway Galaxy. And the Queen agrees. Now, Bowser's caught through a tractor beam taken to Bowser Jr.'s ship, where he reunites with Bowser Jr. Basically, Bowser had not seen Bowser Jr. in a while. Basically, Jr. was like in boarding school, but got himself expelled, which Bowser's kind of proud of. And so now Peach and Toad they try and find a pilot to get they get to to like the flight deck by asking Rob where the flight deck's at, like Rob from Smash Bros. And like so they you know and so they've tried for pilot. They hire Fox McCloud, and you have from Star Fox. Now Fox comes from a different universe. He says he comes from a different universe. Basically, some warp some like warp drive thing happening separate him from his universe, so he ended up there, and he's trying to get back. That's basically his backstory was explained very quickly in some 2D animation style. That's actually very good animation. Holy frick, it looks like a good Star. Like I want to see a Star Fox movie. And then Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, they get there, and so now when Peach first sees a picture of Rosalina, she has some memory about I guess she was a baby seeing Rosalina, so she tries to figure out what's going on. So then now now Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi they arrive. They meet up with Peach, Toad, and Fox. So they all fly, but then they're attacked by Bowser Jr.'s ship, and then basically Bowser tells Bowser he doesn't necessarily want them all to die. probably like just you know, and Bowser's like, oh, that's weird. Okay, so he shoots like Mario Luigi with the Super Scope. So Super Scope is like a light gun thing made by Nintendo. It was, with the video game Super Scope 6, and like yeah. So and Mario Luigi get turned to babies. So Bowser's convinced by Bowser to return to like his role as King of Koopas and go back to being evil. So Bowser's all in, partly to like be there with his son because he does care about his kid. Even though he feels like he wasn't a good father, he does care about his kid. Now, so the end of this planet, there's like a giant T Rex, and Toad accidentally gets shot with the Super Scope and gets turned into a baby. So, but Yoshi's able to like um basically turn the Mario Brothers and Toad back to normal and turns T Rex, and the T Rex during this whole chasing gets turned into like a baby, which is kind of funny. So Luigi finds a radio and tries to like he talks like a trucker, tries to ask for help. Now the Lumas have a radio that's able to hear it, so the Lumas uh take the Comet Observatory to where they're all at, and then picks them all up. And so Peach walks into like the little castle, or whatever, and she reads the story time book that Rosalie read, and learns that like when basically she and Rosalina are sisters, so they were in outer space. Basically, they shared some power to like create nature, life form, and they were attacked by some villain. Like it's not known who it is. So Rosalina sent Peach to the Mushroom Kingdom to keep her safe because if their power together, their combined power would like be a big benefit to whoever it would capture. Like basically separated, it was I guess safer. So Rosalina sent Peach away so that basically the Toads kept Peach safe till she got strong to protect the Toads. So Peach learns her origins. That's essentially what it is. So and they're like created by stars or whatever. They're made of stardust. So well, at least that part of origins explained. Where there's anything else, we don't know. If like there's some other big lore revealed for a third movie, who knows? So then so Fox and the Lumas they distract Bowser Jr.'s fleet while Mario, Peach, Luigi, and Yoshi infiltrate Bowser, like the planet Bowser. And so Mario and Peach end up this booby trap area, which Bowser Jr. tries to press all these buttons to like activate traps and operate. And so his visuals look like a really old like retro Mario game. So it's kind of like it has the look of the old Mario games, regardless of, like how the platforming feature of it. So then Mario and Peach confront Bowser. So they're able to jump over Bowser, do like get over get past Bowser. Then you know, Mario cuts uses an axe to like chop the chains, but causes Bowser to fall into the lava. So everyone thinks Bowser's dead, but then Bowser comes up back as dry Bowser. So Mario closes the gate to help so Peach can get up to Rosalina to free her while he fights Bowser Jr. and Dry Bowser. Then Luigi and Yoshi arrive with some power ups so that they can fight. Three of them can fight Bowser and Bowser Jr. So now Luigi gets Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush and draws a Game and Watch, which does some like slapstick style attacks on Dry Bowser. Then Bowser Jr. gets back the paintbrush and creates a dragon, but Bowser Jr. is eaten by the dragon, and Mario gets a power up to save Bowser Jr. and defeat the dragon. Now Peach uh, reunites with Rosalina, and their combined power destroys like Bowser Jr.'s Doomsday weapon, which I believe was just called like the Boomsday weapon, which was supposed to like basically destroy the whole universe, or whatever. And then so Rosalina's freed, and so basically like the Lumos asked Rosalie if they could visit Mushroom Kingdom. So like Peach's castle and Mario, Luigi, Yoshi are looking at each other like, So then they all get to the giant hole where the castle used to be, and they're like, "What happened to the castle?" And Luigi's like, "Well, the castle died." So then they all work together to rebuild it. You see a little like montage in the style of like that retro graphic style of them all working on the castle. And then Fox takes the Bowser's to prison, and he basically was like his like wardrobe was able to get fixed, so he's able to go back to his home universe. And then Ukiki tries to do another robbery, but is stopped by Daisy. So yeah, so I thought this is not as good as the first Mario movie, not even close. Like the one from a few years ago, no, that one, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, like from you know, like from 2023, that in my opinion is still the best video game movie ever. This one is definitely not as close. Like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I would say it was like 85% out of 100. This one's like a 70%. Like it's like the bare minimum of being considered good. Part of the problems is well the pacing. I think if this was a TV show, this would have been a lot better. Like it would be a lot better. There was some cool, like definitely this leans more into like the video game aspect of it than the first movie. But the plot's not as good. Like the pacing has a lot of problems. Like there's some pacing problems with this. Like I mean, now if you're familiar enough with the Mario like games, it's not gonna be as big of a problem. But like the pacing is still not the best. The voice acting, it's good, but not the level of the first movie. Like now the visuals, I would say the visuals, like are actually better than the first movie. So like the animation quality, the basic animation is the same. Now the visuals for like all the different worlds, all different characters, like the visuals are better. Like because you see all such a big variety of different planets, different worlds and galaxies and stuff. You see a lot of places. So the visuals are better. Now, like, but the story, it's not as good, but it's still a decent movie. Like, I would not put it in the top 10 like movies of this year. Like, not even amongst all the movies I've seen so far this year, I would not put in the top 10. But yeah, so it's a decent movie. I think it'll probably still be able to reach a billion. With it basically not being a pile of crap. With it, at least being decent. And with it being for kids. A kids movie that doesn't completely suck is generally going to reach a billion. That these days, that's essentially what it's because parents sometimes need something to take their kids to go see. You know, which you don't see a lot of movies that kids can watch that parents are willing to go to. A Mario movie is something they'd be willing to go to. And it's named Galaxy. Now, with it being called Galaxy, a lot of people expect to be at the level of Galaxy games. And now, one thing I will say as far as Galaxy, I think they should have done Mario World before doing Mario Galaxy. Like, I think they should have done a movie called Super Mario World. That's what I think, and then call it Mario Galaxy if they were going to do that. Now, if they were just going to do Super Mario Bros. 2, 3, whatever, and however many numbers they go to, that would have been their way to do it. But I think they should have done World before Galaxy. But either way, I thought this was a decent movie. I recommend watching it. Well, and that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.